What is shaking, everybody? Welcome to the first ever Jazz Band Fantasy Draft. I am so stoked. It's finally here, and we're going to have a ton of fun. If you have been here before to the Spinz Vinyl channel, welcome back. I appreciate you. If you're new here, welcome as well. I think we're going to have a ton of fun today. I'm going to lay down the ground rules here in a few minutes. Actually, I'm going to hand off to Chris, who's going to run through the ground rules here. But first, let me introduce the competitors. Competitors, yeah. I guess we are, right? I mean, we are competing, so it's like, yes, we are competitors tonight in a way. And not that these guys need any kind of formal introduction. Most of them are well known here on YouTube. But let me go ahead and introduce the band. First of all, I want to welcome Chris from WCB Jazz Vinyl Collector Channel. For those that don't know, Chris creates incredible content ranging from record comparisons, reviews, top 10 lists, and just all things related to jazz and vinyl. And he has an amazing, and I'm saying a killer jazz collection, including like 95% OGs, I think he's got in there, and he shows them off on his channel regularly. So, Chris, how's it going, man?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to beat some of you all. So
I know, dude. Don't blow us out tonight, dude. I mean, give us a chance. Oh man, I appreciate you being here, Chris. Thanks so much. Next up, we got Felipe. Felipe, I'm sure you recognize from the Jazz Bum channel, where he talks everything that's happening in the world of jazz, including reissues, new artists, even interviews with some very interesting people in the jazz and vinyl communities. And Jazz Bums also run one of the most popular Discord servers. Definitely check that out. Felipe, are you ready to face off tonight, man?
Let's do it. Just learned what a draft is like a couple of days ago. So let's do it.
Yeah. Oh man, we'll get through. You'll pick this up very quickly, I think. No, that's funny.
Thank you for having me, Jason. Pretty excited.
Oh, appreciate you being here, Felipe. Thanks so much. And then we got Chris. Chris, you'll recognize from Spinz Vinyl channel. Chris is a longtime collector of vinyl and jazz. He is a fresh face in the community, but he has hit the ground running and appears regularly on Surface Noise, as well as right here on the Outward Bound podcast every Monday night. Look for his YouTube channel coming soon, right, Chris?
One day I'll hit record.
Yeah, he's where all of us were at some point, right? The channel's been created, has a name. He just has to hit the record button now, man. I'm your host, Jason, by the way. I mean, only host by virtue of the fact that you're watching this on the Spinz Vinyl channel tonight, which I appreciate. Everyone here tonight would love to appreciate your support, obviously. So hit that like button. Go follow these guys. They're awesome. They have killer channels on YouTube and also on Instagram, posting killer content on the regular. So definitely check that out. What else do I got? Oh, use that comment section today too, guys. We love to see them. I will be posting comments throughout the stream. So definitely let us know what you think. Let us know when we do a crazy pick or what you would pick. Why are certain people left out off of this? And, we'll definitely respond during the course of the stream. All right. So I'm going to let Chris take you through the rules. He's going to let you know how this is going to work tonight. Chris, it's all you.
All right, excellent. So we're going to have a pool of musicians, over 110 musicians from various instrument categories. We're all going to get the ability to make one pick per round. This is what we call a snake draft. So Felipe, what that means, if you're not familiar with draft, is the fourth pick in the first round will actually also get the first pick in the second round. So the bookends on each round will get the ability to make two picks in a row. So it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 through 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to try to do 4 rounds, time permitting. We're going to do a trio. We're going to then do a quartet. Quintet. Quartet, then a quintet, then a sextet. So 3-piece, 4-piece, 5-piece, 6-piece band. And hopefully, Jason, at the end of each round, we're going to have some viewer participation, right? They're going to be able to decide the winner of
yeah, we all have to make an argument for why our band is best. And then you guys get to have the final word. And what I'll do is it'll happen in the comment section. So we'll throw a poll up. I'll let you know when it's ready. And then you guys will actually get to pick who had the best band. And we'll do that for each round. So we have over 100 musicians in this this draft. I have to say, we get everyone in? No, but we have a lot of the big hitters and even some surprises in there too. So yeah, over 100 today. So that's exciting too. Anything else on that, Chris?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. I mean, I think we're ready to rock. Let's get ready to rumble, right?
Let's get ready to rumble. Hold on, I even have some crowd sounds. Oh, I thought I did. Oh, there we go. All right, let's get ready to rumble. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to start off. Let me show what we're working with here. Present the screen so you guys can see what we're doing. Boom, there it is. Let's see. Let me say hey to some people. AZ Mick is in the house. Joey's in the house. Wyoming Dave's in the house. What's up, Wyoming Dave? Thank you for being here. All right, so let's just go down the list, man. Let's see. Let's start with CB. And CB, go ahead and pick a band name, my friend, and we'll get you in here.
Oh, are we doing band names or are we doing labels here?
Well, yeah. Well, we'll put a label in. Yeah, I think that's what we're doing.
Okay, so this is not going to come as a surprise to anybody, but I'm actually still I'm gonna go with Bethlehem for my label. So the reason why, just a quick rationale, is Bethlehem is first of all one of like the most underrated labels I think that's out there. Obviously, they put out some kind of stodgy music early on, but the thing with Bethlehem is you never know what you're going to get, because you've got like hard bop with Booker Little and like Mal Waldron and some of these guys, but then you also have sort of chamber jazz stuff. You've got stuff with vocalists. Like I think the point is that you never know what you're going to get, but it always sounded great.
Oh man, I love that. You already mentioned some. I mean, Mal Waldron's one of my guys, so I love it.
I'll be sure to take him first away from you then.
Damn, I'm already giving away my secrets. All right. Let's get Felipe in here. There we go. What's your label going to be, Felipe?
I'm going to go with the exact opposite. I'm going to go Colombia, because I think those 6 guys, they look amazing. And I think it's as diverse as Bethlehem, although on more mainstream level. And I think they had the best recording studio, the best sounding records in average are the Colombia ones, in my opinion. I love it.
All right. We already know. Look out for Kinda Blue coming soon. All right. Let's throw Chris up here. Oops.
I'd like to resign from the draft, because I was going to go with Colombia strictly for
that's right.
And Felipe, he doesn't know much about drafts. He's already sneaking picks for me. So
this is what it's all about today, dude. You're going to have to have a backup plan. You know what I mean? Because the stuff's going to go fast.
Well, I do have a backup plan, and it's old reliable. I'm going to go with Blue Note. Just try to put out some classic records with some classic personnel, classic engineers, and trademark of American culture.
All right. Little Blue Note. I guess I'm going to take Prestige in that case. I love Prestige, man. Just one of the early labels, and all that early stuff from Miles and Sonny and Coltrane and stuff is on there. And so yeah, I just got to go with Prestige. Boom. All right, so I'm going to randomize it now, and then we'll see what the order is going to be for our picks. Where it stops, nobody knows. Ooh, there it is. Felipe jumped into the front. All right, there we go.
Right.
So you can see, guys, obviously, whoever's highlighted in green, it's going to be their pick. Here are all the instruments, and you just want to select an instrument, and then you'll see a pop-up like that, and then we'll get you the musician that you so desire.
To the list. So I can pick any instrument, and the musician does not have to be from that label necessarily, right?
Correct.
Nope. Yeah, you can pick anyone you want here.
Okay, so let me think. I think I have something here. So we talked about. I think on bass, I like to pick up a guy that's it's actually going to show a record that's on Verve. He doesn't have that many solo records, like leading records, but he's such a consistent guy, and I think he brings so many like fresh and good and new ideas. And either doesn't matter if it's like a more traditional type of playing, more like avant-garde-ish or straight ahead, which he's here Trio 64.
The suspense is killing me, Felipe.
This is one of my favorite. The first is Gary Peacock.
Okay, there we go.
I think Gary Peacock, he's such a nice flavor to the Bill Evans trio, and I like 64 so much better than 65. And I think it has a lot to do with his playing. That's the only record he records with Bill Evans. And I think Gary Peacock is a guy he's so flexible. He can play with any band, any style. And yeah, that's my pick.
Tell the people what. So what's Gary Peacock?
Gary Peacock on bass.
Boom. There we go. All right. First pick, Felipe, Gary Peacock. A very controversial pick, I think. Geez, not an obvious one. All right, CB, you're up.
All right, so I need to refrain from giving too much of my rationale because that's going to my strategy, because I've got set strategies, right, for each of these. Okay, except for maybe the Sextet. So I'm still kind of figuring that one out. But so I'm actually going to do something very similar as Felipe, and I'm picking a Bill Evans bassist. So I am going to start with bass, and I'm going with Scott LaFaro. So
ooh, okay.
Very, very, very similar mentality here, and I just think you need to have like a good anchor, and I'm going to get into a little bit more once we fill out the trio again, because I've got a vision here.
I love that. I love the thinking there, and I appreciate you talking that through, because it's kind of like, do you just go for a super band? Do you think about, chemistry? Are you building a band around someone? So yeah, that's all going to come up when we're making our case for who's going to win this thing. All right, I'm up. Now my strategy, guys, is to don't have a strategy. My whole thing is to be very sort of spur of the moment, just kind of let my feelings, see what I want to see what you guys are doing, and then see where I'm going to go with this. For the trio, I think I'm going to go drums, I think. Oh man. Okay. I'm just going to go Tony Williams. I know it probably seems like an obvious pick, but my guy from Out to Lunch and many others, I'm just going to go Tony Williams and just see where that takes me as we go here. As I improvise, I'm going to improvise my way through the show in just the spirit of jazz.
Well, maybe obvious, but he's obviously a genius, so that's a strong pick.
Absolutely. All right, Chris, you're up, baby.
All right, I'm a sucker for a piano trio, and I want somebody who I think can compose and do standards. So I'm going to go with one of my favorites on piano, Ahmad Jamal.
Ooh. Nice little pick right there. Ahmad Jamal. Okay. And then, see, here we go. So because we're doing the snake thing, for those that don't know, we go around once, then it goes back the other way. So whoever's at the end gets to pick twice.
Right. So Felipe will get to round out his trio, which is a nice finish.
That's true.
Now, I need some stability, some versatility, someone who's a star without too much ego. So I'm going to pick Ron Carter on bass.
Ooh.
That'll be interesting.
That is interesting. Now, I guess the question is, has Ron Carter played with Ahmad Jamal? And I'm not talking about like at an all-star date over the last like 10 or 20 years. I'm talking like early. I don't know if sometimes Felipe has the encyclopedic knowledge in this stuff.
I don't think so, Chris. Not that I can recall. No.
Yeah. They probably, and I'm not talking about a festival. I'm sure they shared a stage at a festival. I mean, Ahmad Jamal is, both of those guys have been around for quite a while, right?
Yeah, but on a studio session, I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's a great question because that's one of the tricky parts about doing jazz is that they mixed up the personnel so much that it's kind of like trying to pick a band that hasn't played together can be the biggest challenge.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I mean, especially a guy like Ron Carter, right? I mean, he's I want to say, what would like the comparison be? I'm trying to remember that Wrecking Crew bassist,
like Carol Kay. Yeah.
Yeah. So like Ron Carter's like the Carol Kay of jazz bassists. Like he's been on like thousands of recordings, which is just insanity.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I want to do something fun. Let's see. Who do I got? Yeah, I want to do something fun. We got Tony Williams. I'm going to pair Tony Williams today with Ray Brown. Ray Brown, early guy, obviously, but he had a long career, but I love his early stuff. He started out with guys like Count Basie and Dizzy Gillespie. Those are kind of my old school guys. So I'm going to throw Ray Brown in there and get a little traditional bass action going with my Tony Williams.
All right. So that's to me then, right? And now I'm trying to think like, and I'm seeing Tony Williams up there, and I'm thinking I better snag a drummer because that's going to be critical here. All right, so this is kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm going to go with Max Roach. So and here's the thing, like, you know, I think the reason why I want to go with Max Roach is, first of all, I don't think he ever played with Scott LaFaro, and I like the idea of bringing folks together that hadn't necessarily played together, but I think for a trio, you need like, you can really benefit from having a lyrical drummer, like a drummer who can play a solo. You don't need to necessarily hear tones, you know, don't need to hear melody. Like Max Roach could really make his solos engaging and do a lot without there being, say, a bunch of horns that are kind of like, you know, playing over him. Plus, like, you know, some of that early stuff that he did with Mingus on the debut label is phenomenal. So I think Max Roach in trio format is fantastic.
Great pick. I was going to wrap that trio.
That's nice. All right. So my turn now.
You're up, and you get to pick two now. So you're going to get your whole trio kind of rounded out now.
So I think continuing the trend, I mean, the style, you know, versatility style approach of Gary Peacock. I would really love to see him playing with Andrew Cyril on drums. Andrew, he played with, you know, more like.
Wait, say that again. Sorry.
Do we have Andrew Surreal?
Oh, I don't think we have him.
We do.
Oh, he's not there. So can I pick another one? So I am going to pick Billy Higgins.
The other guy that's played just about on every single session, right?
No kidding.
I can't believe I left him off initially. It's like he's the most prolific drummer in jazz. Smiling Billy.
Yeah, Billy Higgins is quite interesting. He was like pretty much like a session musician for Blue Notes. Whoever had to cut a record, he'll be there and play with them. And he's one of those rare guys that he adds his style. You can tell it's him, but at the same time, he incorporates the leader. Whoever is playing his music, he is able to follow that style and to keep it there. It's so amazing he's playing. And he's a guy that is always like playing this uplifting kind of mood, and he complements any musician perfectly, and without even like being so familiar with their music. A few rehearsals, and he will be there. I mean, you can read any interviews about any musician, anybody that has worked with him, and his work of that really tells. He's a guy that he was so great. I think Billy Higgins would be a great pick for any band. Great pick.
Absolutely.
And let's do like a piano-less trio.
Piano-less trio? Okay.
Piano-less trio. So let's do it. One of the fathers of invention, right? Let's do Sonny Rollins. I think that would be a cool trio.
All right, so there it is. Sonny, Peacock, and Higgins.
All right, so I don't know how much we want to be selling ourselves at this point, since we're kind of filling out the trio, but I want to say, and here's the thing, like, I don't want you to think I'm copying you, Felipe, but I pulled out this record because I wanted to talk about why this is the inspiration for my trio and why this is the inspiration for the trio. Now, the commonality between these two records, one's a trio, one's a quartet, right? So they're not both trios. Commonality is they do not have a piano. And you know, between these two guys and I'm trying to think, like Lee Konitz played, you know, without a piano, who, like Jerry Mulligan, some of these guys that were experimenting a lot with without a piano. And I get a lot of energy from that. I think some of my favorite albums are those sort of like sparse trios. You know, you think Sonny Rollins, whether in this format on Way Out West or at the Vanguard. Fortunately for me, well, unfortunately, I'm doing kind of exactly what Felipe was doing. But fortunately for me, I was not going to include Rollins I wanted to pull Coleman Hawkins into this.
Oh,
I wanted to get like, you know, that sort of older school thing, somebody who still knows the standards, just like Sonny, and kind of, you know, I guess mix the eras. So I think, you know, I think that's a solid trio though, right there.
that is solid. Coleman Hawkins. Wow. See, I love that because I would never even think about that. That is great.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there it is. Max Roach, Scott LaFaro, and Coleman Hawkins. Very nice. All right, so I've been kind of thinking here. So I got Tony Williams, I got Ray Brown. So I'm already kind of mixing styles here, but I'm gonna tone Tony down a little bit on this, but I'm gonna bring in a vibraphone. So I'm thinking I could have went piano trio, but I think I'm gonna throw in a vibraphone because I gotta pick my guy. I'm gonna throw Bobby Hutcherson in the mix, who could play with anyone also. I know Felipe was mentioning, you know, guys that can kind of play different styles and stuff. And Bobby played in a lot of different bands, a lot of different lineups. He can go avant-garde, but he's also, his compositions are just beautiful, and he can vamp and just play slow. Just beautiful, not complex, but it's just all about, I don't know. It's just all about the beauty and the imagery that his playing can evoke. So I'm pairing him with Ray Brown, I think is good. Tony is just there, I guess, to keep everybody on time. And I guess Tony and Bobby could do some fun things together. You know, the whole album doesn't have to be chill. I mean, we can get into some avant-garde stuff as well. So that's my thinking on that one. So I'm bringing in Bobby to kind of supplement the piano just because I think it'd be fun.
I get that. See, like Ray Brown, even though he's a little bit more old school, he can be that anchor and let Tony and Bobby kind of go off into the stratosphere. That's solid.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, Chris, it's all you, baby. Let's see what you got, man. No pressure.
I feel a lot of pressure. I can't believe I should have just took Max early. I figured Ron might have been there on the way back. I forgot I'm amongst geniuses in the jazz world, so I'm struggling a little bit already. But I have to pick a drummer, and I have an idea on one.
It's like trying to sit down and play poker with some guys that are just like pros, and you're like, I know how to play poker, and before you know it, you're out of chips.
Yeah, I'm about to buy back in right now. So I think I'm gonna pick a drummer and explain my rationale, but I just want to see the list one more time.
There we go.
But I think. Yeah, so I am going to go with Idris Muhammad here, and I'm going to pick him because I think he played with Ahmad Jamal very late in Ahmad Jamal's career at some point. My vision here is to get him with the early Ahmad Jamal, so I'm going to go with Idris, and I just think he'd be a nice fit, nice groove with Ron Carter on bass and kind of lay the foundation for Ahmad to do his thing.
That's actually a nice pick, dude. I wouldn't even thought about that, but I like now that you've got Jamal and Idris together and then Ron in the mix. That's actually solid.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, maybe we should go around and just everyone kind of I know we already heard everyone's argument. Should we go one more round and let everyone hear, guys? So whoever is here watching right now is going to get to vote on this. And while everyone's kind of making their arguments, I'll set up the poll so you guys have a way to vote for who you think should take this. So, Felipe, you want to go make your argument on why people should pick your band?
I don't know. I think my band is quite solid in a sense because it has players that can go over many different styles. They're not afraid to push boundaries, innovate. You know, Sonny has played from the 30s to the 2000s pretty much, so he's absorbed so many styles. Billy Higgins was such a great like session drummer, a great guy that could play with anybody. And Gary Peacock was so creative, innovative, and I really like his line. So I think it would be like a great band for innovation and tradition at the same time.
Solid.
All right, so. All right, what to say about my trio? I think the strength of this trio is that each of these musicians can play either a lot and take the take the spotlight, or they can play very sparingly and play equally well in sort of both spaces, right? I already talked about how Max Roach, he could play an hour long. So in fact, I've seen him play like a half-hour long solo just on drums, like that's it, and it's thoroughly engaging. Scott LaFaro, somebody who's used to supporting Bill Evans, very quiet trios, but it's clear that he can, even within the space, he can just play these just really beautiful, runs up and down the bass. And Coleman Hawkins, I mean, he can't help but play pretty, right? He has that kind of breathy, sort of airy tone that a lot of these guys did, like a Ben Webster, like a Lucky Thompson, some of these other guys, right? And I just, I think I'm even like, as I look at this trio, I'm thinking in my head of the audiophile version of whatever it is, whatever album they would put out, and how amazing it would sound.
I love that. Yeah, for me, as I'm looking at some, realize, okay, I got my Out to Lunch guys, I got Tony and Bobby on there, but then I got Ray Brown in the mix, which really, for me, is kind of the curveball. But I think what's going to be interesting about this is Tony and Bobby will meet Ray on his level during some of this album, and then and then Ray will also step it up when Tony and Bobby take over. And I just, I think when Bobby and Tony played together, it's beautiful. Tony's just pulls out all the stops. He's got so many different techniques and things he can do on the drums that, is just, it's wild that they can even record him as well as they do. And with Bobby, he's just so versatile. Again, I think he can play so beautifully, but he can also hang with anybody, and he can get out there as well. So I think it'd be fun to see kind of Ray sort of going back and forth a little bit amongst these guys. So that's kind of, that's what I'm thinking with this one. All right, Chris.
Yeah, so for me, my intent is just to put Ahmad Jamal on a pedestal and give him his due. And I'm a sucker for jazz musicians that have gone to other genres. So Ron Carter, obviously playing in, on some R&B and soul records, Idris Muhammad, kind of the same. So it's going to be diversity in this for a trio. It's going to be powerful when it needs to be, maybe lay down some funky grooves and really have a lot of fun, but then also kind of sit back and just be in the pocket while Ahmad Jamal does his thing. So that's why I put this trio together.
I love it. Well, so far you were in the lead, man. So you got 40%. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I see the rest of us all have 20%. Chris has got 40. So get your votes in now, guys, if you guys are watching. And while we're sort of, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pick a winner here pretty soon. So let me give you another minute to get your votes in. Ooh, back and forth. All right, CB and Chris both have 33% now. We got a tie. We can't have a tie. And leaving Felipe and I in the dust. Ooh, Chris, another vote. And by the way, Chris, you cannot vote for yourself. Like you did on Instagram today.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was trying to promote.
I know. I'm kidding.
I'll be disappointed. I'll be disappointed if I don't win Shane's vote with the Deadhead, the Seal Your Face regalia in his profile picture. I'd be really disappointed if I don't win his heart over.
Well, now it's Felipe and Chris are tied.
Yeah. Let me go test my relatives here pretty quick.
Yeah, everyone text your, yeah. Seriously, though. No. All right, Felipe and Chris, 30% each. CB and I, a lowly 20%. Who else is going to jump in there and break this tiebreaker? Yeah, this was fun, man. I love that. All right. Also, look for Quartet coming up next. So that's going to add some a little bit of complexity and let us get a little deeper into these rosters. That'll be really fun too. All right, guys. Now Chris keeps going into the lead. I want to end the poll, but not with Chris winning. I mean, come on.
No matter what, I feel like I won because somebody commented that they're torn between me and CB, and that's a victory in my book.
There you go. That's a victory in itself. Yep.
No, just
all right. Here we go. I'm going to count it down. Oh, look at that. We're getting a bunch more. Okay, here we go. If you're just joining, guys, we are at the vote. You didn't miss much. We just got through the trio. We've all made our cases for why you should pick us as the winner. Check out that poll in the chat. We're trying to break a tiebreaker. Looks like we got Chris at 43% now, Felipe 29%, and CB and I at 14%. What happened, CB?
Oh, no.
I don't know. We were just too high concept, I think.
You were absolutely right. I'm sticking to that.
Pop sells, baby. Pop sells.
I guess next time I'll just take Coltrane and Miles. Okay.
Right.
All right, here we go. I'm going to end it, everyone. So we got about 5 seconds. 4, Get your votes in. Jason, click that Jason button. 3, 2, 1. There we go. All right. Chris taking the first one with 42%. Wow.
Wow.
That's a commanding
Very
lead.
nice. Very nice. All right. So let me give him his propers here. We'll get a little animation going for you, Chris.
Imagine if
Confetti.
I had Max Roach.
Nice. You pulled it. You were clutch at the end, man. Bringing in Idris. I love it. All right. Round 2. Let's do it. Hit the random button. I guess, CB, we got to come up with another strategy now, man.
Well, I can't do a pianoless trio twice for a quartet, so
You gotta pick one now.
We both went pianoless. That was the problem. All right. So now we got Chris first, then we got me, then we got CB and Felipe. So let's jump in. Here we go. Boom. There we go. All right. I guess your reward for winning is you get to go first, Chris. So now we're picking Quartet, guys. So
Let's go.
hang on by the seat of your pants. What are you thinking here, Chris? What are you thinking? What's your strategy?
So on saxophone, you can pull up the sax players for me.
Absolutely.
Wait a second. How do we not have Kenny G? All right. So
he probably made more money than everybody on this list.
Don't worry,
That's
guys.
true.
When I post that, I'll delete that part. Don't worry.
Yeah, there's going to be a bunch of trolls thinking I was serious. Well, I'm going to appeal to the masses here, and it's just a no-brainer. I'm going to start with Coltrane for my quartet.
Okay. Strong start.
Wow. All right.
Off the board already. Oh, that's me. Okay. Let's
Jason, you're up.
see. Thank you. I need a little help, Chris. All right. How do I want to start this out? I'm almost thinking about just building a group around, pardon the pun, but I'm kind of vibing with Bobby on this one. And since it didn't work last time, I'm determined. So I'm going to build this one. I'm going to come correct on. So we're going to pick Bobby Hutcherson. Again, we'll get this one right. We'll build a band around him.
All right. Monopolizing Hutcherson, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So it seems like already people are they're starting off strong. So I'm gonna do that too with my leader. So what I wanted to do is I want to remake the Wes Montgomery group. So I'm gonna start out with Wes, and we'll see where it goes, right? Because he's got, he's done the trio thing too, but he's done quintet and quartet. He's kind of run the gamut, including in terms of styles, right? Because he became more commercial later on. So hopefully that gives me some options.
I like it. For those keeping score, we talked about guitars. Chris and I did 2 days ago. We left Wes out. So this is kind of an in-your-face moment right here.
Yeah, I'm twisting the knife right now.
All right, Felipe.
Okay. I'm going to start with trumpet.
Okay.
I think he was probably one of the greatest influencers, and I'm not talking about Louis Armstrong, I'm talking about someone that came right after him. And he picked up so many from that kind of style, Louis Armstrong, but he also borrowed from the more cerebral artists like Art Tatum, like Coleman Hawkins, as Chris mentioned. And I think his playing is just so amazing. If you guys are not familiar, go search for more. But Roy Eldridge is just absolutely a killer player, and I would love to see him on this quartet that I'm building.
You notice I landed on him immediately. I knew that was where you were going. He's in here twice, by the way, but no one else can take him. We can only take him once. All right, here we go. Roy Eldridge, nice pick. All right, you got a second one, Felipe.
So I think I'm gonna pick up now my my piano player. Can you pull out of this, Jason, please?
Yep.
Okay. So I think I want to go Red Garland.
Ooh, nice.
I think it's like a good bridge from like. I think Roy Eldridge can fit in any style. He's more like bebop, but he also had such a soul and a tone. And I think Greg Garland on a more like hard bop, bluesy, 50s kind of a thing would be a really great match with Roy and a good build up for my quartet.
I like it. All right.
All right. So. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. You can move over to piano there. So what I want to do is I want some optionality with my quartet because Wes liked playing with organ players. He also liked playing with piano players. And we didn't, we knew full well going in we weren't going to add an organ category. But guess what? Some of these folks can indeed play organ. Sun Ra's one of them, but it's actually not actually my choice. I'm going with Herbie Hancock.
Oh, there we go.
And if he needs to bring in the synthesizer, he can too. That's not what I need him for, but I do need him for both organ and piano.
That's fun.
I like that. With the Wes Montgomery there too. Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, they've played. So they've played on a couple. I want to say A Day in the Life. That A&M record. Herbie didn't play on every track, but he played on at least one of them. And then there was also one of those Verve albums that Herbie was on that was like a larger format that I think if memory is serving it, you kind of lost Herbie in the mix because there's other artists in there. I can't remember the album, but anyway, they have played together before, but just not as much as they should have.
Got it. Very cool. Very cool. So I think I'm going to go trumpet here. I guess I'm going to get my rhythm section in last. For whatever reason, and I'm gonna kind of pick my Freddie Hubbard, and I'm thinking old school too, Felipe. Going Roy Eldridge. I'm gonna take Dizzy, obviously influenced heavily by Roy, and sort of as we got into bebop, I mean Dizzy just kind of carrying the torch all the way through, and just a huge ambassador to that time in bebop and everything that was to come. I feel like we're just influenced by, I know, yes, obviously Charlie Parker Bird gets all the love, but I just feel like Dizzy's kind of the silent, carrier of the torch in that ring. So I'm going to go with Dizzy, man. Cause he's fire. He can play soft, but man, he can just blow. So I'm going to have him and Bobby, sort of like Bobby and Freddie, but I'm going to bring Dizzy and just to even heighten the drama even more, in my opinion, in terms of just powerful playing on trumpet.
Nice. Didn't this is again, I'm gonna constantly look at Felipe during this thing because I'm trying to remember myself. Didn't Dizzy play with Lionel Hampton? Wasn't he in that band at some point?
Yes.
That sounds right.
Yeah. So I like this pairing. I like the later, sort of the newer school, post bop vibraphonist instead of Lionel Hampton playing with Dizzy. That's good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Remember that when you vote, folks. All right, Chris, you got John Coltrane on there, man. Who you gonna pair up with Coltrane?
Well, it's tough because I want to get creative, but everybody I'm gravitating to in every group pretty much has overlap with Coltrane and on some obviously staple records. So let's go to bass players for a moment. For me, I know that they've played together, but I'm going to go Paul Chambers here. I really want to set a foundation with Coltrane, and I'm just, as from last Monday night show, I'm just a huge Paul Chambers fan. So I'm going to go Paul Chambers on bass. And then I'm going to go with, if you click on piano, Felipe stole Red Garland from me, which was I was going to go originally. Always be interested about this. So I'm going to go with Chick Corea as my piano player in this band.
Ooh, okay.
I not intending this to be a spiritual Coltrane-led quartet. However, I do want to see some of that influence play between those two guys with Paul holding it down with a groove. So I'm going to go with Chick. I love Joe Henderson.
Caesar. Well, I love Chick Corea. So that's a good one, man. All right. Oh, that's my name. Okay, here I go. I'm gonna I think I need to start getting some. I need to get a foundation going. So let me throw a drummer in here. We got Bobby and Dizzy. Okay. I want to see how crazy I can get and still have it work. I like Louis Hayes because I like some of the stuff that he played on was so good. You know what? I'm gonna do Elvin. You know, we got Bobby in here. I think Dizzy's gonna be able to hang with that. You know, Elvin Jones, polyrhythmic playing. Bobby will certainly hang with him. And I think we could just get some real grooves going. So yeah, we're gonna go Elvin and Bobby with Dizzy on this one.
All right, I'm getting scared on the availability of drummers now because I was actually thinking about Elvin Jones. So let's go over to drummers and see who we have. And again, I'm remaking this group. I don't want like Louis Hayes has played with Wes, like Lex Humphreys. Well, we didn't include him anyway. Trying to think. I also need, so here's the thing, you know, I said I wanted Herbie for organ and for piano, which means we need to cover like a variety of styles. So I think my best choice on this one is going to be Billy Cobham. I think he can do it all.
Yeah.
Billy Cobham.
Heck
All
yeah.
right.
Dude, that is a funky start. I love it.
All right, Felipe, you got 2 picks. Actually, you're going to be able to round out again.
Yeah.
Somehow, Felipe is going to wrap up his quartet here.
Jason, so can you open the drummers again, please?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I think I'm going to go Roy Haynes.
Ooh.
Who's also went through many decades, played many different styles, and I think he'll be like a good like bridge, you know, between more modern approaches, old school approaches, and with those guys. All right, and now let me see the piano. My piano player here will be, of course, McCoy Tyner.
Nice.
I think.
I never heard of that guy.
Oh, no, sorry, I mixed that up. Sorry, I've been piano already. No.
Oh, you did a piano. Oh,
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Dueling pianos.
I can't go back.
Okay, so my bassist, my mistake, my bad, sorry.
I know, I totally missed it. You had
They couldn't
Garland, that's right.
pull out the bass list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just tell us who you're picking. Unfortunately, this little piece of software I wrote doesn't have the ability to go backwards. So
I put Richard Davis there. Richard Davis.
You want Richard Davis? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't add him because now it's CB's turn, but we got Richard Davis in there. We'll figure this out. We'll figure this out.
My bad. Sorry.
All good. All good. I didn't even notice.
All right. So I need a bassist here to fill this out. And this is going to be difficult for me because everybody has already played with Wes Montgomery. Oh gosh. Okay. I can't choose Ron Carter. He's in fact, he's on the album that I just showed. So much guitar. Everybody needs this one. It's fantastic. Let's see. One of my favorite drummers, or excuse me, bassist is Richard Davis, and he played with Wes. Reggie Workman played with Wes when he was in John Coltrane's Quintet. Man, not that it has to be somebody different. I like the idea of it.
For sure.
Yeah.
I don't think. See, Mingus couldn't pull it. That wouldn't be a good mix here. I'm gonna go with. You know what? I want to bring Marcus Miller into this. That's who I want. I think that would be super solid. Love bringing in, somebody who's a little bit more contemporary into this group, because it's already leaning in that direction. You already know what kind of music this group is going to play. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. I'd see them live like a couple of times at least.
Yeah. I'd stay for the second set at the Vanguard. Let's put it that way.
Well, it's kind of good that Felipe picked Richard Davis, because I would have just ended up trying to put together half of Out to Lunch again. So I'll leave. Now I have to go he's saving me from myself. I got to pick a bass player here. Let's see. We got Bobby, we got Dizzy, we got Elvin. Who's gonna? Let's see. I know CV wasn't gonna go Charles Mingus for good reason, but I kind of like him here. I think he's gonna help us out with composing some of these tracks and just challenging these guys that I have that are so good. I don't know. Has Charlie and Bobby are two of my favorite composers in jazz. Could they work together? I don't know. I'm going to say yes. There we go. Charles Mingus. So we got Elvin Jones, Charles Mingus, Dizzy, and Bobby on here. Lots of great composers on this one.
That's really interesting. You got some musicians who bridge styles too, you know, that were part of multiple things. That's yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
All right, Chris. Finish strong, baby.
I'm looking at this. It's in a way, Paul Chambers is going to wind up being an odd man out, which is kind of strange to say, but in a way, I kind of like the fact he might be the glue that keeps this freight train together. I'm going to pick a drummer here who I think had Coltrane lived longer would eventually cross paths with this gentleman, and obviously he played with Alice. So I'm going to go Jack DeJohnette on drums.
There we go.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have some 8 to 10 to 12 minute compositions in this band.
Well, yeah, you got Chick Corea who's just going to play a whole side, so everyone's just going to have to keep up.
That's awesome. They will open for Fish on their next North American tour. That's the goal.
All right, so there you go. Jack DeJohnette. We got Paul Chambers, Chick Corea, John Coltrane for Chris. I picked Elvin Jones, Charles Mingus, Dizzy. Oh, you know what? While I'm saying, well, you guys go ahead. You guys can see Felipe. We got to correct. McCoy's not there. He's got Richard Davis on bass instead. So let's go around. Chris, go ahead and make an argument for why you should win, and then I'm going to set up this next poll.
I should win in 3 words: Quartet, John Coltrane.
All right.
Boo.
I know. All right. Let me go ahead, guys. I'll kind of come. I'll finish last. So go ahead, CB. What are you thinking here?
All right. So this is what I want everybody to picture. We're talking pre-A&M, pre-Verve West Montgomery. Okay, think like put your mindset in like Riverside. That's where I'm at. He was already playing with organ on some Riverside albums. So again, Herbie, you see Herbie on there. He's not just playing organ; he has the ability to play organ and piano. So we're going to mix both of those in there. But I really like that, you know, sort of mid '60s West Montgomery Riverside sound. You know, there's something about it, I think, that his guitar always sang. And I just think that this is the group that can support him in, you know, exploring that kind of like soul space as well as the hard bop space that can kind of do it all. So that's what I'm going with.
I like it. Felipe, why should people pick you?
I've centered my band around Roy Eldridge because I really love his playing. He's probably the guy that wrote the book on modern playing, that he's so soulful, such a beautiful style, technical, and such a great variety, and backed up by a rhythm section that can help him stretch and go to directions that he has never had the chance to play. So I think this band will be killer.
I love it. All right, guys, the poll is live, so jump in that comment section. Take your picks. Who do you think should win this? And while you're thinking about that, let me go ahead and tell you why you should pick me. This is fire. There is high energy here. We got Dizzy, who's just gonna blow the roof off. We got Mingus, who's just gonna, who's helping write the compositions, and with Bobby, and he's just gonna take people to another stratosphere. But leave a lot of space for guys like Bobby and Elvin to get in there. Similar to the band that he had with Jackie Byard and Eric Dolphy, but now we got, you know, Bobby and Dizzy and Elvin in the mix. So I think we just got fire. These guys can just go nuts. High energy. Every once in a while, Bobby's gonna, you know, kind of force everyone to slow down a little bit and do something special. But yeah, I think the solos are going to be amazing. That's for sure. So yeah, I just think that's why I picked these guys. I think that's why you guys should vote for me. And now I feel like, you know, we have a new president now. So I feel like I'm campaigning for why you should pick me. But yeah, so that was my thinking around that band.
Well,
I have a confession to make. Oh, sorry, Chris, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just have a confession to make. I crossed party lines. I voted on this poll, and I voted for CB because that band is freaking incredible. I just want to throw that out there.
Well, you're tied right now. Chris and CB are tied for first. I got 23. Felipe not getting any love, but remember, he doesn't have McCoy Tyner. He's got Richard Davis there on bass. So sorry about that. Mistakes were made. It's all good.
All I was thinking though right now, Jason, when I'm looking at that lineup, is that all's well and good until Mingus decides to pop Dizzy in the face, because that embouchure, you know, that's a prized possession. You know?
Yeah. This will be late Dizzy. He's already had his career. This might be how he goes out. He's going to lose a couple teeth. So,
you know, Mingus's temper and attitude, he still gets picked. I think that's why Miles wasn't picked for a quartet, because no one wants to play with him and his ego. That's it. So I'm shocked. I'm shocked it's gone this long, but so it is.
So far, yeah, no Miles sightings.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about that is, like, you know, think about some of these guys who really only ever led bands and weren't playing as sidemen outside of, you know, the every so often Mingus on some of his early debut you know, label records, which I mean, he owned the label, so he could do whatever he wanted. But like Miles didn't really do it much either, especially you know, after his early days. Like there's a few people though who you just never. I mean, Andrew Hill never, like, you know, after a couple of early Blue Note albums, like Dialogue, I think, like he just decided, nah, I'm doing my own thing. You know?
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, guys, we're coming down the home stretch. Once again, Chris in the lead. I know Chris has the biggest fan base here tonight. And in general, we got the family out there. I can see him right now. He's texting, "Thanks, Mom."
Listen, I voted for CB. I thought he put the best quartet together for my money, but.
Well, CB coming up in second, 33%. I've got 20. Felipe got a little love, 7%. I love it. I mean, McCoy, even if you didn't have a bass player, so you got McCoy Tyner, Red Garland, Roy Eldridge, and Roy Haynes. I mean, that's creative there, Felipe.
You know,
I agree. This is better than fantasy football.
With Felipe coming in last, this is just, you know, pure evidence that the genius and the academics are never appreciated until later on. So, I mean, this is just. The thought process is all there. I guess maybe we have a crowd that's not picking up what he's putting down.
Need a proof of concept.
Yeah,
exactly. Oh, believe me, I wanted to. When we were talking about this, I was like, I wonder if I can get AI to write a song using the styles, you know, and then vote on that. But that turned out to be, didn't actually. That probably like some licensing issues and stuff, and I just couldn't find any way to do it.
Give it a couple of years, we'll be able to do it.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be back. All right. Well, we should end this thing, man. We got Chris 40%, CB 33, Felipe 7. I got 20. Thank you, everyone, for voting. We're going to end this poll. Let me give it 5 more seconds in case you're just joining. Click on that poll button. You're going to vote for Jason here, and we'll see if I can climb the ladder. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Boom. Ending the poll. Thanks, everyone that voted. Appreciate it. Chris taking it down again. 40%. Wow. All right. He's 2-0, or he's 2 for, well, I think if we do 4 here, he's already, if he gets 1 more win, we are definitely blown up. So we're going to really have to work hard on this next one as we go into quintets.
I just have pop sensibility. That's all.
All right. Hit the randomize button again. Let's see what we can do here. All right, so now it's me, Felipe, Chris, and CB. Yeah. So begin draft. That means CB is going to get the first one to pick 2. So that's not a bad thing. I kind of like how this goes. All right. So now we're picking a quintet. We got 5. So let's see. How am I going to start this out? I got to start strong. I'm hesitating because I want to pick Miles because we talked a lot about him. He hasn't been picked yet, but I want to do something different too. So if I pick Miles, I'm gonna have to do something different with him. So I'm gonna go for it. We're gonna see if we can do something kind of wild around having Miles here. My first pick. All right, Felipe, you're up.
Let me go trumpet again.
All right.
Let's go Kenny Dorham.
Nice, Candy Dorham. All right. You want to share your thinking on that, or are you keeping it close to the vest?
No, just thinking future names I'm going to put in a band. Yeah, I think he'll be a nice fit there.
Purely for the vocals, guys. Purely for the vocals.
Oh, I know that. Exactly. All right, Chris, you're up. So far, our leader with 2 wins under his belt, Chris.
Okay. Let's shake things up a little bit. It's an obvious pick in the category, but I'm gonna start strong with a personality and a leader. I'm gonna go Art Blakey on drums.
Boom. Okay. Very nice.
Is he building a new Messengers lineup?
That's a good idea, Chris.
All right. So I have to do this before Jason does, and I don't think he's gonna play with fire 3 times, given that it wasn't working for him. So we're gonna see if it works for me. So what I want to do here is I want to use this as my inspiration, right? So Bobby in a in a quintet format. That's how I'm gonna start framing this thing, but you'll very quickly see that I'm going to do something different with it and take it in a different direction. But for me, like Bobby Hutcherson, that post-bop style, the late 60s and early 70s, there's basically nothing better. So, all right, so Bobby at the helm, and in my head, I'm thinking like, oh, Joe Henderson, Harold Land, like who are these these players who have who have supported him in the past. But I want to go back to to the early days, and I want to bring Lester Young in on saxophone.
Ooh.
And
Cool.
I've made it no secret. I really like the again those those tones that incorporate a lot of air. Like I talk about this on my channel all the time. And yeah, I mean Lester, nobody did it better than Lester.
I really like your thinking on that with Bobby. That is really cool. Okay. All right, Chris.
Well, CB's picking up what I'm putting down, and this pick is for Cesar. So on saxophone, I'm going to go Joe Henderson.
Yeah, very nice.
All right, Blakey and Joe. Very nice, very nice. All right, Felipe, you got Kenny Dorham on trumpet. Who are you going to pair this guy with?
Let me take a look at the saxophone list, Jason. So let's go. Let's go Dexter Gordon.
Ooh, Dexter. Okay, nice. Kenny Dorham. Okay, nice. Okay, everyone's got real nice. Okay.
We're playing it safe now.
My whole idea was not to play safe because I got Miles, and I just can't. I'm not just going to build, a Columbia lineup here. So let me see. I'm going to put him with. Let me put him with. Well, I already know. I know I already picked this guy once. I'm trying to go a little. And at least I have. I could be wrong about these guys, but I'm going to throw Tony Williams in there. I don't know that they ever. Am I wrong? Did they ever play together?
Maybe.
Tony Williams.
It's entirely possible. Yeah, Miles and Tony. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely did. He was Tony Williams was in the second great quintet, wasn't he? Wasn't he in Miles' second great quintet for Columbia?
Oh, interesting. You could be right.
Yeah.
I have to look it up. Well, let me take my next pick, and then we'll. All right, we got drums.
So the real question, though, Jason, is this band still going to be together by the end of this round, because with Miles at the helm, everybody may just quit. You're going to be left with Miles solo.
This has to be a real good day for Miles for sure. Oh man. Okay. You know what? I'm hovering over. Nah, I almost took Bill Evans, but you know what? I'm gonna throw Monk in there. So we got Tony, Monk, and Miles, 3 Titans. Let's just see what happens. I'm gonna have to figure out how to round that out. But yeah, we're gonna go with Tony, Monk, and Miles there.
My turn now, so I'm gonna no brainer, Paul Chambers.
Paul Chambers on bass. All right, so we got Paul Chambers, Kenny Dorman, Dexter Gordon. Okay, nice. Chris, you're up.
Okay. Let's pull up trumpet. This is controversial for me, but I'm going to go with Wynton on trumpet.
All right, Wynton Marsalis. Why is it controversial, Chris?
I just don't get past a certain time period with my jazz love, and I respect Wynton, and I listen to some of his stuff, but I've always kind of strayed away from him. But I think he's, as Chris pointed out, I'm trying to recreate that Messengers group, and I think this is a pretty cool combo with Joe Henderson, and obviously he's a student and historian of the game, so it'll be a nice fit.
Yeah, he had some late Messengers cred. He was in one of those later '80s formats, I think, right?
Was he?
Yeah, and VS.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, nice.
So I'm a little bit of a novice on him.
Well, he could play any style. That's for sure. All right. So what am I doing? Oh no, I don't need to ask that question because I have a strategy here. So who I want to bring in now? Again, we're thinking about remaking this Bobby Hutcherson quintet, and I want to bring 2 guys. Well, I get to choose 2 guys. I'll do one at a time, but I'm going to bring 2 guys in that just know how to play with each other. Like, they have that kind of cerebral connection. So first, let's go over to drummers, and I want to bring in Shelly Mann. So Shelly Mann's one of these guys, right? That can play any style. He really loves the cymbals, and I think that works really well with Bobby Hutcherson. And yeah, he's just a freaking all-star. I mean, he supported Sonny Rollins right on Way Out West, and he showed he could play with pretty much anybody. So the other person I'm bringing in is a bassist, and it's got to be Ray Brown here. And I want to say that those 2 guys played in like one of those LA trio kind of formats at some point. But they've played together doing that, on the West Coast for forever. So I think it's a solid pairing.
Very nice.
Sure.
All right, Chris. Trying to get that Messengers, the Messengers that never were, trying to get that one done.
Yeah, except for Wynton. But pick on piano. Let's see. I have an idea of where I want to go with this. So I'm going to go modern, and I asked this guy to be added on the list. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. That's actually a bad pick. Never mind. I'm going to go Horace Silver. Because why the hell not? How about that? That's my academic analysis.
Why the hell not? There we go, Horace. All right, Felipe.
All right, so now I'm going to pick him again, McCoy Tyner.
So picking up McCoy on piano. All right. Well, when you had that piano list up, I started thinking, because I'm figuring, I almost feel like I threw a wrench in the works with Tony Williams on this one, but now I'm like, you know what? Who could I possibly add that's a multi-instrumentalist that can just kind of, just round out this band in a funky way, in an unusual way? Because we do have Thelonious, And Tony Miles is going to have to get, and this is going to be Miles probably more so like Bitches Brew Miles kind of deal, because we're going to bring in Sun Ra on piano and organ here. Wow, that seems random, but I am really thinking about, and I got to figure out who my fifth player is going to be, but just trying to get somebody in there that can kind of, I don't know, get these guys to get really funky and out there. So that's my thinking on that one.
That is super out there already.
Yeah.
Ideas, Sun Ra ideas, and Miles ideas all at the same time.
That's true. Too many idea people. I know. That's the hard part about this. All right. So the question is now, do I need I got Miles. Do I need a saxophone? I feel with this band, I really do. So I'm going to bring in a saxophone.
I guess Rock could play some bass, right? On the organ. He could cover.
Mm-hmm.
True. You're right. I don't have a bass player.
Might be able to keep Miles sober too. I don't know how long that'll last. I'm pretty sure Sun was a straight edge.
Yeah, that's right. He was. Yeah, he never. Yeah, he's like the Frank Zappa of
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what? I know you. That was. I hate to say this, but you might have saved me right there, CB. I didn't even notice. I don't have a. How did I get to? Oh, that's what I did. I pulled a Felipe on this one. All right. Well, we got.
Made sense.
Saloni.
I could see it.
Okay, I'm definitely going. Well, Sun Ra, you're right. He could go bass playing the organ. I mean, I might as well do it now. I'm too deep. And I want to bring in someone that can play a lot of notes and can keep it together. I could go Coltrane here. That might be the obvious one, but I'm going to go Charlie Parker just to mix up my my eras a little bit and get Charlie Parker in there, and playing a lot of notes too, and beautifully. So wow. All right, craziest lineup of the night, maybe. All right, Felipe.
Well, let me see the drummers, Jason, please.
Yep.
All right. I think we're gonna do Kenny Clark.
Kenny Clark. There we go.
Well, I already broke my recreation rules with Winton on that oversight, so I just went for it with Horace, but I'm going to need a bass player. So I'm going to pick a guy that not a lot of people know and should know, and he's versatile, and he has done jazz-esque records with the Flecktones, but I'm going to go modern with Victor Wooten here because I think he deserves that shot with that all-star band.
Wow. Yeah.
Cool.
Interesting. All right, CB, this is it. Bring it home.
All right, this is difficult. Let's pull up piano though, because I gotta have a piano player in here. Man, what am I doing here? Because I've got some traditional folks, and I'm wondering if Bobby can carry the post bop avant garde, or whether I should be adding somebody else in to mix things up. And I almost want to say that I should. First, I was thinking Oscar Peterson, but I'm like, man, I can't do Oscar Peterson, Ray Brown, and Shelly Manne. Like, that's just too obvious. All right, I'm nervous about what this is going to sound like, but I'm going to choose Cecil Taylor in here, or Cecil Taylor, excuse me.
All right, Cecil Taylor, boom.
Yeah, he's he's going to bring in the compositions and do something interesting with Bobby.
Oh,
yeah. I like that.
A terrific combination.
Yeah.
You got a lot of balance here, Chris.
What's that?
You got a lot of balance here.
Balance? You saying
like Cecil playing off Hutch, right? Then you have Lester and Ray.
Yeah. And Shelly and Ray have some experience together. That's true. Yeah, it's a little bit of a West Coast meets kind of new thing type of vibe, but
yeah.
I'm hearing it in my head. That's what I want to listen to,
Yeah. I like that. All right. Well, you guys go ahead and make your arguments. I'm creating the poll as we speak, guys. So as soon as you see that pop into chat, go ahead and pick your winner right here for this quintet. There we go. All right. Warrior, we'll go. Let's go in order. I mean, I'm the one. I feel like I have to make the crazy argument. I have to talk about why I was home late last night. The teenage kid that came in at 2 a.m. I just wanted to, when I went with Miles, I wanted to do something very different. I started thinking about later Miles. You know, we got Tony Williams in there. I think they're going to play really well. And you're right. They were on that CB. They did play together. Then we got Monk on piano. I like that. It's going to be very different. I don't know how well they would play together, but I think, again, I just think, you know, Monk's going to do his thing and he's going to dance, you know, in circles and stuff while everyone else is playing. Sun Ra, yeah, I think he's obviously going to have to play bass and organ, but I think he's going to add some real nice ambience to this band. And maybe that's the thing. This is going to be kind of an ambient, you know, kind of sounding thing where people are going to kind of be all over doing their own thing. And Charlie Parker is there to, you know, be propped up by, I don't know, someone's going to have to hold him up while he's playing just a crazy saxophone lines and just kind of mix this band together. I don't know what this would sound like. I thought I was going to go down one path and I think I tripped myself up, but I still like them. So, yeah, that's my rationale there. What do you think, Felipe?
This band, it's more like old school guys, not like the most, except for McCoy Tyner maybe, but I think he would give the push for this band for like a lot of rhythm exploration, and has such amazing tone by Dexter and Kenny that will bring some more like other, also like modern, more some of those blatting songs that he used to play. And I think Paul Chambers, he can be the glue to connect any band in a very stylistic and a high level way. But I think it would be a killer band.
Very nice. All right, Chris.
Yeah, a little take on the Messengers, right? I didn't realize I wouldn't have been with them later. Then I just broke the mold down and put Horace in there. But I like the I don't know if Henderson and Blakey have ever played together, but I think Joe Henderson's just underrated. So it'd be nice to see him featured in that band, and then bring in a modern player like Wooten for fun. You know, just because he respects the greats so much, and they'd probably respect him if they got to jam with him. So just a nice 5-piece.
Very
All
cool.
right. So if I'm thinking about this quintet, something that kind of occurs to me here is that, you know, so I mentioned Shelley and Ray, they know how to play together. They were on a lot of those poll winners records for Contemporary, right? So Contemporary, the label that was out of the West Coast. So those guys know how to play well together. And, you know, Cecil Taylor also put out Looking Ahead for Contemporary. So he also has some early credentials on the label. And here's the thing. I think all of these musicians here could play a little bit out, with the exception of Lester Young, who is so old school. So when I envision this, I picture like Lester Young again, kind of playing that sort of like, you know, Harold Land role kind of thing, where he's playing and all the other musicians are kind of like swirling, dancing around him kind of thing. So that's what I've got. That's what I got in my head. But this is definitely a post-bop group. That's the style I want to hear them play.
I like that. And I like Lester Young being in there too, because even though I don't think that would be people's immediate pick, when you just described it, I could see that, because his, you know, like you said, his slow, breathy playing and just deep tone. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Wow, those are great, man. So right now, Felipe is just by far in the lead, 64%. We got Chris and I are 18. CB getting no love. I don't get that. I really liked what you got going there, CB. You made a great argument for that band.
All good. You know, they need to workshop it though. You know, like people, it's hard because, you know, they'll go over to Mittens, they'll figure it out, and they'll hit prime time eventually.
I like that. All right, guys. So if you just joined in, or if you haven't yet, vote for who you think should win. Take a look at those lineups right there. We're doing fantasy draft, jazz fantasy draft, the only fantasy draft that really matters. And those are the bands we've selected. So which one do you like? Which one would you pick? And click on that vote button. We'll let it go a little bit, a few more seconds, and then we're going to jump into Wow, we're already up to sextet. So this
Yeah,
might be right. Sorry.
We were really dragging on the trio. Everybody, we were just so over analyzing, and then we got in the groove. Quartet, quintet, boom, boom. Like we're moving on to non-net pretty soon. Like
Exactly. We'll have a big band going here pretty soon.
yeah.
All right, I need my third trumpet player. I'm gonna go.
What's that Savoy album that's like trumpets like all out, or what is that called? It's like there's like 5 trumpets on it. Ernie Royal and Donald Byrd and like 5 freaking trumpets. It's a mess. That album's a mess, by the way. But it's got like 5 trumpets or something like that. I don't know.
That's awesome. I love. Oh, am I going to be able to remember? What's his name? I'm blanking on.
You thinking of a trumpet player or what?
Yeah. How is he not in here? Jones. What's his name? Thad Jones.
Oh,
he has a record that has like everybody in the lineup's last name is Jones.
Yeah, it's the Jones Brothers. I think it's there's one for Period Records that came out, and maybe it's called Jones Boys or it's Jones Brothers. I'm not sure, but I mean, he was, some of those, it's funny because there's multiple albums. Some of them he actually played with his brothers. Some of them he played with people whose last name happened to be Jones, but that weren't. His brothers. So it's like, it's confusing.
Yeah. All right. Well, Felipe getting the love on this one. So Felipe was 60%, 62% running away with it. We're going to go ahead and end this. Get your votes in right now. Get your late votes in. I don't think we're going to be able to move the needle though. Felipe taking it away, 62%. All right, we're going to end it. We're going to get into our sextets. Congratulations, Felipe. Oh, I didn't give love on this Chris for the second one, but I'm going to give Felipe his love right here. Boom. You got a little bit of confetti. Oh, we need the cheers too. I've been failing on my audio. There we go. Congratulations, Felipe. Okay. So CB and I all right. This is our sextet now, man. We gotta somehow figure out how to get it done here. I'm gonna randomize right now. All right, CB first, then Chris, then Felipe, then I'm pulling up the rear. Here we go. Let's begin draft. So now we're doing sextets, guys.
This is exactly how I envisioned it, because I was saving my Lee Morgan pick for the final round.
Okay.
For a sextet for sure.
Lee Morgan. Gonna build a band around Lee right there on the sextet. Nice.
I could throw darts at a board and to pull the band together around Lee Morgan, and it would be an all-star band. And I'm a terrible dart player.
That's pretty much what I did on the last one, so it didn't work out for me, but all right, Chris.
I'm gonna have some fun with
Chris
this.
with 2 wins. Sorry to interrupt you. Chris with 2 wins, by the way.
Call him 2-win Chris.
2-win Chris.
I'm gonna have some fun with this one. So I'm gonna start off with Donald Byrd.
Oh, I like that. What Donald Byrd are we getting, or do you want to say?
I'm gonna hold off. We'll see how the rest of the band plays out.
Okay.
Interesting. Something tells me it's not going to be 1978 Donald Byrd, but I am.
All right, Felipe.
Okay, so let's build a band around vibes as well. Let's do Walt Dickerson.
Ooh,
little Walt Dickerson. Okay.
Wow.
Yes. Okay.
All right, I got to make up for last time. Get some kind of cohesion going. I think the only way for me to start is going to be with a drummer now. Every time I try to back into this band, I always mess myself up. So let's go. I'm going to pick Blakey this time. I'm going to go Art Blakey. And then I'm going to go ahead and do bass just to get these guys out of here. See, I'm going to go Richard Davis. With 2 eyes on the typo.
Richard, do you think you're going to be able to hear him with Art Blakey behind the set?
I mean, it's Richard Davis. Yeah, it's Richard Davis. We'll get it done. All right, Felipe.
Let me check saxophone players.
All right.
Let's get Hank Mobley.
Ooh. Where's Hank?
Down, 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 down.
Oh, there we go. Boom. Nice. Okay. All right, Chris. No pressure.
There's a lot of pressure here. Let's see. Okay, let's go saxophone. Okay, I have a vision here. Let's go Wayne Shorter.
Wayne Shorter. Okay, so we got Bert.
Surprised it's taking you this long to get to Wayne, based on what I know about you.
That's a good call, CB.
But also, come on, Roland Kirk on stretch. You didn't want to bring that in, or double sax, or whatever, any of that.
I see what you're doing. You're trying to plant some seeds to throw me off my game, and I respect it. But
we got to now.
Flyer, just saxophones, just 6, actually 7, because Roland Kirk's one of the musicians.
Yeah, right. Double it up.
That's good. All right, CB.
All right. So this is what I want to do. I know I've been trying to be a contrarian and pick people that haven't played together, but we're trying to build. I'm playing to win on this one.
Yep.
So let's move over to piano, and who I want to bring in is so Lee Morgan was a sideman on a fantastic album called Grassroots, and so therefore I want to bring in Andrew Hill on this one, because that is a phenomenal. That's like a later Blue Note, like Liberty era record that people just don't give its due. It's a really, really solid title.
Okay, interesting. All right, I'm gonna get a third pick here. Or next another pick.
I wasn't even prepared for this. Okay. No, you know what though? I've been wanting to. Oh no, I can't do this because Jason already got Richard Davis. Shoot, I was gonna say I really wanted to bring him in. Okay. Hold on. We can do this. Let's go to saxophone. So I know that there's a couple that have been chosen already, but surely this band, this all-star band that I'm creating right now as we speak, would benefit from Mr. Kamasi Washington joining the group. That would just be like, oh my God. I would follow that band on tour across the country.
So CB, can you talk a little bit about Kamasi? Because I'm not overly familiar with them. I'm wondering if other people aren't as familiar too.
Yeah, so Kamasi Washington is a contemporary artist. I've actually seen him play here in Atlanta. He's actually my age, so he's born in '81. So he's quite contemporary, at least in terms of a lot of the musicians here. And I'm trying to think now. Like he's put out some his albums. You'll find get just like win every award. It's one of those things where not a lot of people pay attention to. I understand not a lot of people pay attention to the new jazz albums that are coming out, but like Heaven and Earth, which is put out, I want to say like I don't even, it was right before the pandemic, so it was probably like 2019 or early 2020. That one was amazing. Becoming was amazing, which I think won like Grammys and stuff like that. He just put out one recently,
September, right?
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember what that one was, but it's like a double album.
I forgot the name, but it's about his like baby daughter, kind of.
Yeah. In fact, I should have pulled it up so I could show, but everybody can search Kamasi Washington. I want to say maybe VMP put out a double disc of it.
Is it Fearless Movement?
Is that it? So, yeah, that's it. That's the one. Yep.
Yeah, and he's played a lot with people like oh my gosh, in hip hop he played a lot of hip hop.
Kendrick Lamar.
To Pimp a Butterfly.
He's on the To Pimp the Butterfly album, and he also he was very young, but he's on the second Ryan Adams album, Gold. He plays a solo.
Interesting.
Yeah, nice.
He plays on Firecracker, which I think was co-written with the guy from the Counting Crows. But yeah, come on. I was gonna pick Kamasi, man. I thought I was gonna have him and Wayne kind of duel a little bit. That's a good pick.
Thank
you.
You bring up Ken. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you brought up Kendrick Lamar, and I can't believe I left him off here. I was very fortunate to see the Blue Note Quintet when they were in my area early this year, and Kendrick was on drums, and he is the finest drummer I've ever heard in person. I can't believe what I was hearing. It was just unbelievable. And yeah, he deserves his flowers for sure. I should have had him on here, but yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah, it's
All
tough.
right.
You know, it's like one of the weak spots for me is like I don't get into the contemporary stuff enough. But when I think I saw Kamasi on like PBS like 10 years ago or something, and I was like, who is this kid? And yeah, his first couple of records are really good, and they sell out fast too. There was like a serious shortage on his albums on vinyl, I think, for a while. So
yeah, I mean, I'll say this, like this is a topic for another video, but like between guys like Kamasi and Nicholas Payton, who's a trumpet player, and Isaiah Collier, who's a saxophonist who actually just put out a fantastic album.
Exactly.
There's a lot to get energized about with some of the new stuff.
The latest Emmanuel Wilkins that came like 2 or 3 weeks ago is also terrific. Very good. Very
yeah.
good.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So what am I going to do now? I was really going.
You know what? I got to correct myself. I don't know what I'm talking about. And I know everyone got silent because they knew I messed that up. I'm thinking of Kendrick Scott. He's the guy that played drums for the Blue Note Quintet. Just had to clear that up. Okay. Anyway, as you were, Chris, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I was going to get really spacey and funky with this band. Okay. Let's go drums. And I will go Billy Cobham.
That's a fitting choice. You're going spacey.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we got Shorter, Donald Byrd, and Billy Cobham. Okay, like it. All right, Felipe.
Okay, so I have a tenor, then I'm gonna add Eric Dolphy.
Oh, gonna add Dolphy. All right,
But
you sniped me. I was actually gonna finally try to get him in there.
Limited to oboe, right? You're doing oboe only.
Yeah.
The flute.
Some flute, some alto, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Only Middle Eastern instruments, nothing anybody's heard of. That's what Dolphy's playing on this one.
And you definitely can't get bass clarinet on this one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so I got my rhythm guys at least. So now let's see. Let's add. Trying to think if I can get a guitar player in here because guitar player has not gotten any love so far. Nope, I'm not going to pick a guitar player either. All right. I'm just going to go piano. Just keep the rhythm section going. We'll throw a piano in here. Lots of great piano players in here. I'm going to go Herbie on this one. I mean, we got Blakey, Richard Davis. I'm going to go Herbie. I'm kind of staying. Yeah, I want this to be a little bit. I want this to be on the cusp of, hard bop, avant-garde kind of deals. So, yeah, we're going to go Blakey, Davis, and we're going to add Herbie in there. And I got another pick. All right, so now I can add my first horn player. Well, I would have added Dolphy. I should have just did this. After Felipe took my guy, Eric Dolphy, greatest jazz album ever made, by the way.
There you go. Is that a Music Matters one? I didn't see the label there.
Oh yeah, this is the the 45 RPM double LP Music Matters.
Nice. Yeah,
that's great sounding.
Well, that's killer. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to flip the record a few times, but it's totally worth it.
Oh, for sure.
All right, I need a horn.
David Murray is somebody to include next time. That would be yeah, he's phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Sonny on this one. So we're gonna go Blakey, Richard Davis on bass, Herbie on keys, and then we got Sonny with the saxophone because he can he never plays the same note twice. He's gonna go on this album. He's just gonna be super creative on it. So, all right. What do you got, Felipe?
Sorry. Let me check a piano. I think let's add. Let's go with
So just want to remind you, just because it's happened to me and it happened to you once, you got vibes and 2 sax players.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Chick Corea there.
All right, Chick Corea. Yeah. Boom, there we go. Ooh, that's rounding out nicely. Can we just all appreciate what he's got going on right there? Dolphy and Korea. Mobley. Okay, I like it. And a vibraphone.
I'm sweating. I'm sweating.
I know.
I mean, I thought Sonny Rollins and Wayne with Bird and Cobham would have just taken us to outer space. And now I'm not sure where to go. But can you bring up sax players again? I feel like I'm going to put Wayne on soprano. I feel like I want a tenor. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to back off sax for a minute. And I know I was thinking about Shep Todd, but I'm gonna go to piano. And sorry, gentlemen.
All good.
You can always go over to pick Mingus on piano.
The impulse here. I'm going to take a shot here, and I don't know if he's going to come through in this band, but I'm going to put Keith Jarrett on piano.
Keith Jarrett, okay.
All right. This is we're getting down to the wire here, especially considering I'm picking 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I know I need bass and drums. And in fact, not everybody's picked a bass and drummer yet. And yet I really want to bring in a different instrument. I want to add that third horn at least right now, and I want to go over to vibes. I don't want to, Walt Dickerson would have been my pick for this, to be honest. And I've already chosen Hutcherson. I think Khan Jamal is a little bit too out there for this group. I want to do Roy Ayers in this group. That's who I want. Because I think he can break through the sometimes cacophony that Mr. Washington can create, and I think he'd be a good that'd be a good voicing to have in there. So now let's see, bass and drums. 2 people have chosen drums, meaning there's less competition. So I'm going to go to bass right now. So Richard Davis is the only one who's out. Yeah. All right, let me think about this. Who can pull this off? You know what? Actually, it's as clear as day. Jaco Pastorius. Bringing in. Yep.
Very nice.
Damn, CB. I mean,
I like that.
You want to make some trades? Okay, nice pick.
I like that with Andrew Hill. I like that.
Yeah, and Kamazi too. I'm a little stumped. So can you bring up sax again?
Yep.
There's
somehow the bigger the band's got, the harder this got.
There's one guy that okay, so this is obvious now. I'm gonna go Branford on sax.
Oh, Branford Marsalis. Oh, you were the guy that got the Marsalis brothers. Okay, between for the night.
We're gonna be doing some Grateful Dead covers in this band, so
Uh,
There's some blood, sweat, and tears if you pulled Joe Henderson in, right?
Right.
yeah.
Let me pull the bass players, Jason.
you got it.
I think.
So what you're thinking here, Felipe? Maybe step us through this.
There's an idea I had this weekend after the concert I saw. It worked beautifully. Let's put Ron Carter.
Ooh. Adding Ron Carter. Okay. Wow. You got some heavy hitters in there. All right. So I guess I got two. I guess I'm going to be the first one to round out my sextet here. So I do have to think carefully here. Rhythm is covered. I just got to go.
It's a good foundation to start from. I'll say that.
It's not a bad foundation. I just don't want to mess it up now. All right, let's see. Do I bring in I think the question is, do I bring in a trumpet? I got room for one. See, Chris took Donald Byrd already.
Yeah, who would Sonny play with? That's kind of what I'm thinking about, right? Because Sonny can solo for an hour on his own, but if I'm thinking about a trumpet player that Sonny would play with,
it's a good call. And I've already done the thing where I've tried to span every era. I'm gonna throw. Okay, I think I know what I'm gonna do here. I'm going to throw Freddie Hubbard in there. Freddie Hubbard, again, another one of my guys from Out to Lunch, just performs so well on that record and can just do some really interesting things. I want to hear him and Herbie together. I'm sure they must have played together, right?
Yeah, they were on Empyrean, right? Freddie and
yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that's like my favorite Herbie album as a leader. So okay, subconsciously that's probably what I was doing. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's wrap this up. Let me see who I can go with. We got a sax, a trumpet, piano, bass, and drum. That's the most like cohesive band I've had yet, I think. But what am I going to throw in here? Question is, do I just have someone blend in, or do I have someone stand out? Oh man, Bobby's there, and I hate to be that guy. We almost got we got an Out to Lunch. Okay, so here, okay, I like that. We got some nice guys off Out to Lunch here, but then we're also throwing in a piano with Herbie, and he and Bobby are going to sound good. I don't need to make my argument now, obviously, but with Blakey on drums and Sonny, to me, that's the big one. Okay, cool. All right, Felipe, let's round this out.
Okay, let's pull out some drummers. I
should
think
go a third drummer.
I think for this band, Jack Jonette would be great.
Jack the Jeanette right there. Okay, here we go. Boom, It's locked in.
All right, so got Branford and Shorter, soprano and tenor, Bird playing some funky trumpet, probably put Keith Jarrett on the electric Rhodes, Billy Cobham just being funky. I need a bass player, so let's click on bass. And I feel like this guy's a perfect fit for what I'm going for. I'm going to go with Dave Holland.
Very nice.
Dave Holland. All right, looking good.
All right. We all know that I need a drummer. Let's get over the drummers and see who's left here. Okay. Man, there's some good drummers left. Thank goodness. The question is, who's the right one for this group? Because I love Tony Williams with this group, but Billy Higgins would be killer. Idris Muhammad would be killer. No one has chosen Philly Joe yet. Could he play the style that I need him to play? All right, you know what I'm gonna do actually? I've got to pull Elvin into this group.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the way to go. We already know that Elvin can play with vibraphonists. Like, I mean, he was doing that post bop thing right at the same pace as some of these other guys. So yeah, I think we're good there.
Killer.
Very, very nice.
All right. I'm going to create the poll right now. I think this one is close. I think
it's very
everyone,
close.
yeah, I think everyone nailed this one. Just enough kind of variation. I just feel like, yeah, I just feel like there's some really fun stuff going on here. I think we learned from our earlier, at least I did. All right, let's see who's got the sextet.
The fatal flaw I made was jumping on Jarrett for piano when I could have taken Jaco, and thinking that no one would take Kamasi, but CB.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're in the same wavelength though.
It's okay. That's what this is all about.
Yeah.
This is tough. I don't know who I would pick if I was in the audience.
See, this is the problem, is because now with so many musicians to consider, it's like, you know, some are going to pop out more than others. But if I'm gonna say a couple of words, I guess, to you know, while that poll's getting up there, you know, obviously this is not Bethlehem. None of these guys played. Let me think. Nope, none of these guys played for Bethlehem. But that's not the point. Bethlehem was because it could accommodate anything, right? And it always sounded good. So I think, you know, a lot of these folks were contemporaries, right? They you know, played around the same time, influenced by each other, doing the same thing. Obviously, Kamasi is a little bit of the you know, outside of that, but I think the idea of going with this group into a post bop kind of space, I could see this group performing at like colleges, like stadiums, kind of thing, and it just being an amazing experience.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the vibe I think that I'm going for with this group.
CB, do you touch every decade from the 50s to present with this lineup?
Well, so that's a good question. If I'm thinking about Andrew Hill's first album, if you're talking about who played in the 50s, absolutely. Because yeah, Lee Morgan was putting out albums in the 50s. Andrew Hill in the 60s, Roy Ayers in the 70s. I mean, Elvin Jones was playing well into the 80s. Kamasi, so maybe we're not hitting.
Well, Kamasi 99.
He could have been. I mean, he would have been young if. Well, how old is Mr. Washington? I'm not sure.
No, I think it's kind of our age, Chris.
Say that again.
I think it's kind of our age, right? Maybe
Yeah, I think so. I think he is.
Yeah.
So yeah, we could indeed be touching every decade.
And what about Roy Ayers? Gotta had something in the 90s, right?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll say this. I'm one of those folks where his later work is a little bit of a blind spot for me. Got to be honest, but I really dig his you know, his stuff for Atlantic and his stuff in the early 70s, especially.
Yeah, for sure. You know, mine is I wanted to go late 70s space, and that was the goal. And CB hit it when he said 78 Bird. And it all kind of fell into play. I had Jaco and Kamasi and Sonny on my list to try to round out some of this band, but I think I made some pretty good substitutions with what was taken around me. The only one I'm concerned about is Jarrett. I don't know if he fits here, but I think on Electric Roads it makes sense. So this will be a fun band, kind of go off on 30-minute jams, but then maybe do some takes on some contemporary rock and roll stuff and have a good time.
Yeah,
very nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Felipe.
Yeah, I decided to put together a band starting with the vibes. I mean, this past weekend I was at the Vanguard. I saw Joel Ross playing. It was a sextet with 2 saxophones and alto and tenor. And I wanted to have like 2 different, completely saying different things, saxophones, and having Ron Carter as like the heart and soul, like, you know, a good cement there, keeping the pace, but also doing his own stuff and following anything those guys would be willing to do. Jack Shonetch, who, it's a great band player, but also I like his solos. I like the way he plays. And I think Walt Dickerson and Chick Corea will be something interesting. I saw the concert, like the interplay between the vibes and the piano. Sometimes you could even tell who was playing at certain times. So I think that would be a nice experimentation to have those guys like exchanging notes and playing simultaneously. And it's a band that has enough great soloists to do their own thing also, and then just come back together and have a great finish in a concert scenario. So that's why I put those guys together and thought about putting a band together like this.
I like to see these new jazz leaders, right? So Ron Carter with Ware, and Eric Dolphy, obviously, and Walt Dickerson. Like there's such a classic string of albums that were put out then.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's good stuff, man. I like that we got 3 vibes in here. We got 3 of us picked vibraphones. And yeah, I really like Herbie and Bobby playing together for similar reasons, like Felipe said. I think there's going to just be some stretched out chords with Herbie already playing like, I describe Herbie. It's like there's always one note in there that makes his chords a little bit, it makes some Herbie chords, and they're just a little bit different. And now we add Bobby in there, and it's just adding just the right piece here and there to the harmonics would just be beautiful. But then both can solo so well. And then Blakey on drums. I'm going to tame Blakey just a little bit. He's going to keep time very well and just get some nice fills in there without going too nuts. And again, I think CB, you called it. I think that's going to allow Richard Davis to kind of stretch out and do some fun stuff. And then Sonny, yeah, just a solid horn. I just needed to get, and along with Freddie too, just a nice little couple of guys in there that could really do some nice soloing together and kind of play around each other and stuff. I just think that's a really fun band. So yeah.
Nice. While you're getting that, while people are voting, like this topic of the vibraphone, like obviously we all have a lot of energy for this instrument, right? Like it adds such a nice element. And yet I'm thinking about new artists, and like Sasha Berliner is a great vibraphonist who's playing today, but I don't know as many modern vibraphonists as I feel like there should be. And here's the thing, like it's not that I'm not that well studied on some of the newer musicians, but
Chris, there's a great one that put a record like last week. I forgot her name, but I'll pull it out and send it over to you.
Oh yeah, please do. I'm interested in checking it out. Like I've when I was in college, I studied with Jay Hogard, who's a amazing vibraphonist who put out some albums on India Navigation, and then I forget the other label, but I developed a soft spot for vibes very early on, and I just like, I'm always so excited when I hear a band with that incorporates it.
Yeah, that's very cool. The Blue Note Quintet, again, I've seen them live once, and I know a lot of these guys have their own albums. And even though I screwed up the name earlier, I thought Kendrick Lamar was Kendrick Scott. By the way, Kendrick Scott, you have to check out his drumming. But Joel Ross plays in that quintet on Vibes, and very solid. I mean, I don't know if I'm not going to put him in the same league as some of these guys we have on the list, but solid vibraphone player, was inspired by some really great vibraphonists. So
that's an excellent call out. I've completely just mind blanked on that one. Joel Ross's albums for Blue Note, like every single one of them belongs on like the top 10 list of the year or whatever that it came out. Like those are just phenomenal.
Yeah, that's his first one.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
That's a great one.
Really good one.
Yeah, I need to go back. I did pick up Kendrick's album, but there's so much of that stuff is good. And even Felipe is like really hipped me to a lot of that newer stuff. And I need to I'm still trying to get the essential stuff, building a collection again, a jazz collection. So I feel like I haven't quite got to that stuff yet, but eventually I'll get there and start grabbing some of these newer guy stuff, because there is some great playing out there.
It's so hard. Like for me, I listen to everything beyond jazz, and it's like I had to like prioritize like where my time is, and like it's kind of shameful that I've neglected some of the newer artists. It's not that I don't give them a shot, I just don't dive into them as much as I should, but I have to step my game up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, when you logged in, you heard me talk about diversity. I was listening to Al B. Sure's Night and Day as soon as Chris logged in. So I got to get my priority straight too,
Yeah.
All right, guys. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Let me just remind people that click that button, guys. If you're just popping in, or if you haven't yet, we're gonna pick a winner here. Check out the lineups that you see on your screen. Jump into chat and click and vote for somebody. There's gonna be a winner here very soon. Sorry, Chris. Go for it.
No, it's okay. When I went to WFMU, I put a jazz band on myself. I was not allowed to buy a jazz record, and I still walked away with one. So I have to expand a little bit.
Man, why punish yourself like that?
I'll tell you what, because the first 2 crates I looked at, and Felipe, if you remember, when you walk in, there was a guy all the way to the right. The first 2 crates I looked at, I could have blew my whole budget just on his table. I was like, so I just backed off. I'm like, I need to go find some other stuff. But I did buy Jazz to Jace.
Yeah, but I think it took some negotiation there. I think especially the Blue Note stuff is way overpriced.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah, that was my big question, is just how are the prices? Because I know they had some amazing stuff there, but it sounds like you had to really pay up for it.
Yeah.
I think it's inflated. It's inflated. It's kind of strange because some of the vendors I bought from, I was about to negotiate and they just knocked the price down or like automatically. I was like, okay.
If it came with cash, even better.
Yeah.
I just bought one record. I just bought this guy here.
Oh, Golden 8, nice, very nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
I've been looking for a copy and I found one there, pretty decent price. So that's the only thing I bought. Only thing.
That's some.
I get some high. Yeah, that's tough. I get some high fidelity vibes from the vendors. Like if they think they know what you're looking for, they kind of take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully I can make it next year. All right, guys, we're coming down the home stretch. We just did our sextets. Looks like Felipe, again, I think is running away with this one. He's at 50%. Myself and Chris at 20 CB. I'm so sorry to break it to you, but 10%. It's just, the world is not fair. I don't get it.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
The best there.
Yeah,
I can still imagine these bands. These bands are for me. They're not for everybody.
That's right.
Exactly. Well, maybe next time we're going to try to figure out how to get some AI involved, and maybe we'll make a case by actually putting together some music. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
CB, I brought up Bethlehem the other night, and I think it's fitting you chose that label because it's just, you're not getting enough respect, just like that label doesn't get enough respect.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the Rodney Dangerfield of jazz labels, I suppose. Yeah.
All right, I think we're going to pull the trigger on this one. Felipe, again, clear leader, 45%, Chris 27, me 18, CB with 9. We're going to end that poll. Felipe, congratulations. Let me give you some confetti and a little gold, whatever that is, background on your name there. Woo! Wow, we got through it. It took a couple hours, but we got through it, man. That was super fun.
That was great.
Well, I got to say, for the people that were in the stream the whole time, we appreciate it. And if for some reason you don't follow Spinz, WCB or Jazz Bums on YouTube, you're missing out completely. I know that following WCB and Felipe has taught me a lot, and I encourage everybody to really follow their channels, and obviously Jason as well. He puts a ton of great content out, so you really got to support these guys. It really goes beyond vinyl. It goes beyond records and really goes to the history of the music, which is important. And these guys are just encyclopedic by nature, and I find myself typing iPhone notes, writing things down when these guys put some content up. So definitely support them going forward if you're not already.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. And good luck with the new yet to be launched channel. As Jason said up front, we've all been there. No one look at my first video. My God, but I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to have all my videos look like Jason's because the production quality is
really good.
Yeah, it's great.
No, yeah, your stuff is amazing. And then Felipe as well, man. Jazz Bum's doing so great. And that Discord server is just second to none, dude. It's kind of intimidating. I get in there a couple times. I'm like, whoa. And no matter when you log in, there's always a conversation going.
There's someone there. I don't even keep track. There's just too much stuff going on there.
Yeah, it's great. Well, shoot, man, we're going to have to do this again. And guys, I don't know if I said it before, people in chat, or if you're watching this at a later time, we want to get you guys involved too. I think the hope is really to kind of extend this out and just get people in chat, find a way, however we do it, where you guys can pick a band as well. And we'll all build groups together and vote together. I think that'd be super cool.
Mm-hmm.
So look for that. Yeah, man. It's been a couple hours. I mean, it's a long time, but it went by fast. And it's like, this was just super fun. I'm glad for just being the one again, and Chris coming up with the idea on this, and this being the first one. I think it was successful, and it's only going to get better.
Yeah, this is fun, guys. Thanks for coordinating. I had no idea that this would be would evolve in the way that it did. And I understand that I fell at the bottom of the pile, but that's, I'll redeem myself the next time.
Yeah. I was going to say, now you have a place to come from behind, right? It's like you have nowhere to go but up, and you're going to steal the show next time.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody that joined us today in chat. I know it was a little difficult. There's a lot of ins and outs going on today, so I'm sorry if I didn't get to your messages, but I really appreciate you guys chiming in. Definitely leave those comments in the comment section before. Let us know how we did. Who would you have added? Who did we leave out? I know we left out some great artists, but also check us out. I think the best way too, if you want to get involved in the future and you want to be part of this, definitely hit me up on Instagram. That's probably the best way, because then we can kind of DM each other and get that done, and we'll get you added to the list, and we'll go ahead and when we do this and we start including other people, we'll definitely get you in there. Yeah. Obviously, I want to thank my guests. I mean, Chris, obviously, the guy's got to start a YouTube channel. He's phenomenal. And we do Monday nights. We do a jazz show, at least for now. We're going to mix it up a little bit, but we do Outward Bound every Monday. So, Chris, thank you for being here tonight. And thanks for the idea, man. This was super cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a great time. Great time.
Felipe from the Jazz Bums, thanks so much, man. This is fun catching up with you. It's been a while.
Yeah, no, thanks again, Jason. Great idea, you and Chris, and thanks for having me, and let's do it again.
Absolutely. And CB, wow, this is our first time really kind of meeting officially, dude, and it's been a real pleasure. I appreciate you being here, man. This was really fun.
No, happy to be here. This is my official first time on a YouTube live stream. I've only done my pre-recorded videos, so everybody was wondering if I had to be scripted all the time. Apparently, yes, I do.
No, I was going to say, not at all, man.
Not at all. Not at
you
all.
Have people beating down your door. Dude, you got to appear on our live stream.
Well, I'll say this. Felipe and the Jazz Bums have invited me on many occasions, and my only challenge is that I'm 43, but I feel like I'm in my 20s, and so on Friday nights I'm typically out and about. So that's on me.
Well, you did phenomenal. I'd appreciate you being here. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. I hate to wrap it up, but we're done. We're going to do this again. And again, want you guys to get involved as well. So thanks everyone that hung out with us today. Thanks to all my guests, and we will see you guys next time.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.